Do you want everyone to absolutely love and adore you as a tank as you tank your glorious way through WoW Dragonflight dungeons? This is the ultimate guide to your massive EPEEN performance under any weather conditions. I will give you 10 tips with some bonus ones, so stay till the end of the video or use the chapters to fast forward if you want to risk missing out on the best bits. Let's jump straight into the most important tip that every noob tank should start their EPEEN boosting exercise with. First and foremost, pull absolutely everything. Why skip stuff? Just face pull and keep running ahead always. Point number 2 is don't talk to anyone ever. No instructions if you want to do something special, like for example to perform a reset of a boss in an LFR. Just do it, don't talk to anyone, no one is gonna die surely. Or even just basic hi back when people say hi to you, don't do that. Especially this applies if you don't know the content, if you don't know the dungeon. Never ask for directions. Also, while we're on this, never ever put any markers on yourself so that it's easier to see you kind of as you dash around. Never do any of that kind of stuff. Don't talk. And what's the most amazing and super confident thing about this is that all of the most massive EPEEN tanks do that. So you need to look the part. That's what I'm trying to say here. Don't forget it. Point number 3, absolutely stand in bed. Whether it's fire, whether it's green goo on the ground, pick the worst place and stand in it. You're a tank after all. Other than a few exceptions where you could, I suppose, just dodge and get out of the boss's frontal cone of attack, for example, that the weak tanks would try and absorb, that just to turn the boss away from their more squishy and pathetic group members. But you, my friend, you need to stand in all the bed and kind of just, preferably if it's a dragon, make sure that it's turned its mouth with all this cone attack, yeah, towards your group. Like, your healer needs to earn their keep. Come on, man. They are there to heal you. These lazy bastards aren't doing much otherwise anyway. Point number 4, do not interrupt. Yeah, that's the DPS's and healer's job. You've already graced everyone with your inspiring presence, running around. What else do they want? So that you interrupt it as well? What? That's for the weak. Try hard tanks, not for you. You're above all that, mate. Don't interrupt. Just, in fact, you know what? Just go and remove that interrupt spell right now from your action bar. I will wait. Now, point number 5. Leave loose mobs behind. What I mean is, as you run, ahead, right? As per point number 1, you pull everything, but never ever look back. Leave those mobs behind. What I mean here is that if they do AoE, stuns, silences, whatever else those loose mobs might do as they kind of try to catch up to you, yeah? For example, Mythic plus Azure Vault dungeon comes to mind. Here's a great example. As long as you, amazing you, survive, right? Who cares that the rest of your group is, suffering, like losing health, dying to those mobs behind, like... Let's just not worry about that, right? Like, focus on your posture is what I think in this time, like when you run, right? And practice the blue steel look in the meantime. Google for it if you're too young to understand the reference here. It's all good, mate. Point number 6. Run far away from the healer. Like, I honestly, mate, cannot emphasize this enough. I really cannot. If you, basically, if you look back and you can see your healer somewhere in the vicinity or even on the minimap, yeah, you're doing it wrong. Running as far away from them, breaking line of sight from your healer, especially, listen very carefully, especially as you see your own health already dropping. It's very, very important to continue doing that, to look cool and to wave, like preferably wave your massive EPEEN in the air like a flag. Everyone would absolutely love you for that, especially the healer. Point number 7. Tell everyone about your DPS being the highest. You don't have to say it all the time, but just say it like a couple of times in a dungeon at the very least, okay? Because, well, what if nobody noticed? You need to tell them. Otherwise, what if some, I don't know, sleepy healer didn't know who's the boss for a second there? Or what if DPS, well, just God forbid DPS, thought that their EPEEN is much bigger than yours? We absolutely cannot allow that. Let's just cut to the chase. I'm sure you would agree, so please tell everyone that your DPS is the highest. Point number 8. Pull when no one is ready, or preferably like for bonus points, honestly mate, when people are dead, because that is their problem. Hey, especially in LFR raid or even in dungeons, right? As you run up to the boss, specifically, like particularly, right? Never ever look over your shoulder, do I don't know, some pathetic ready check or something. Just, you know, or just even look over your group. Are people standing? Are they close? Will anyone be locked out when the boss encounter begins? Like, honestly, mate, who cares? As you're the boss with a massive EPEEN that everyone needs to see from a mile away, and after all of you die, there is always a healer to blame. Like, so your problem is solved before it started. Now, point number 9, kind of related to everything that I said before. Do not have any situational awareness. Like, situational awareness is overrated. And more specifically, you want an example? Specific example. Never ever look at your healer's mana or where they are on the map, but we spoke about that already. This is kind of related to, like I said, you running ahead of everyone, yeah? So you should show them all who is the boss around here, and your healer doesn't need mana to heal your bum or to keep everyone else up. They will just use, you know, the prayer, the holy prayer and the spirit, even if they are not a pally or a priest, by the way. They will just be like, Holy Father, let me somehow survive this encounter while my glorious tank keeps pulling everything ahead, and they'll totally not go grey in the process. You know, something like that. Like, they'll say some prayer, yeah, that's about it. So just that's about it, mate. You don't need to worry about anything else. Plus, you know, if somebody dies, once again, let me just emphasize it. How is it your problem? You survived. You might survive, right? And you are there just to run as fast as you can. Let's not forget, from point A to point B, and absolutely everything else is not your problem, so don't worry about that. And finally, point number 10, and I have to say, mate, this is my favorite. I just couldn't wait to just emphasize this to you. Always blame your healer. If you pulled too much, ran away from the line of sight, didn't look back, and died. Like, it's such a classy move to do. They will think, oh my god, like, how can I even randomly queue for another group and get another tank and just lose sight of this glorious being with this massive EPEEN, right? Like, they will just miss you so much. I think they might even go into a depression. There are some bonus points to this list or tips that I could mention here too, of course, such as I don't know, never install any helper add-ons, such as deadly boss mods or DBM, because those are for weak tanks and with very small EPEENs, and that's not you, of course not. Just never watch any tanking guides as well while we're at it, because who cares if you're going to face pull everything anyway and hope for the best on your path to glory, right? I mean, come on. So this is why we won't extend this list any longer. I wanted to keep it nice and neat and keep this video very short for your massive attention span that I'm sure you possess as one of those tanks. And yeah, that's why these 10 key points, you need to get them absolutely right though, so make sure you get these 10 points right, and that's it, my friend. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe for more videos from me, and I guarantee that I will make you the most massive EPEEN tank, healer or DPS over time. So here you go, yep, that's what's absolutely going to happen. Like and subscribe. Bye for now. Gyro out.